This is part 8 of Federalist number 15. Sorry, I had a couple of interruptions while making these videos. We got to the paragraph where Hamilton says one of the main problems that we've had with this old American Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, is that one of the many problems is that if you want something done, if you want to tax your citizens, pretty much anything, you have to go through the state. In other words, as he says principle of legislation for states or governments in their corporate or collective capacities. In other words, when you want to deal with the citizens of a state, you have to go through the state government first, rather than the individuals of whom they consist. Then he continues, though this principle does not run through all the powers delegated to the Union, yet it pervades and governs those on which the efficacy of the rest depends. Except as to the rule of apportionment, the United States have an indefinite discretion to make requisitions for men and money, but they have no authority to raise either by regulations extending to the individual citizens of America. The consequence of this is that, though in theory their resolutions concerning those subjects are laws, constitutionally binding on the members of the Union, yet in practice they are mere recommendations, which the states observe or disregard at their option. So, as he says, supposedly we're supposed to be able to ask the states or ask the citizens of states to do things for the national government, for all of America. But we find out that you always have to go through the state. You have to make the request to the state, and they look at it as optional. In other words, they could say, yes, we'll do it, or no, we won't. So one of the things I want you to notice here, when he says United States have an indefinite discretion to make requisitions for money and men. United States can ask for money and men, but whether the states provide them or not, that's the question. During the Revolutionary War, we realized that the states did not do what the congressional government wanted. I don't want to use the national government because it was not yet at that point. But did you realize that it says United States have? It uses the plural instead of saying United States has. You will learn that as you go along, before the Civil War, they used to say United States are instead of saying United States is. And here, again, he says United States have instead of has. So the idea of union and how strong this union will be is still in the making. It is still at its infancy. And that's one of the reasons that I hope you start with these Federalist Papers and start reading or learning about the American history, the progress of federalism, read or listen to lectures to what led to the Civil War. It is very interesting. Okay, in the next short paragraph, it is a singular instance of capriciousness of human mind that after all the admonitions we have had from experience on this head, there should still be found men who object who object to the new Constitution for deviating from a principle which has been found the bane of the old, and which is in itself evidently incompatible with the idea of government. A principle, in short, which, if it is to be executed at all, must substitute the violent and sanguinary agency of the sword to the mild influence of magistracy. It says, it is the capriciousness of the human mind that after all these admonitions, after all these lessons that we've learned, there are still some people who are not well-meaning enough to accept that for a government to work, it has to be able